Buy OTC tax deeds here, no BS edition. In fact, we even found a secret church that's available for just $100 through OTC tax deeds. So one of the biggest lies in real estate is people think you need hundreds of thousands of dollars to crack into the investment game. But the cool world of OTC tax deeds is where you can buy properties that didn't sell at a government tax deed auction. And what happens is folks like yourself can go in and literally buy these things. It's called over the counter. So sometimes you physically stroll into the county counter, ask them for the lists of property, and then you can sort through them and buy them without going to the auction, without having to bid them up, without having to pay a mortgage, and sometimes without even traveling. So this is a great way to get into real estate. And today we're going to show you 3 hot picks where you can be finding some OTC tax deeds very quickly. We're going to boil it down so you don't have to go through all the research here. We're going to do it all for you. And this is perfect for you here. And this channel is dedicated to helping you buy. Tax Lien School has interactive videos, maps, and everybody that logs in, we always give away a free book called The ABCs of Tax Lien Deeds to help you get going. So Texas is the first Tuesday of every month. They are a tax deed state and tons of opportunity in Texas if you know what you're looking for. We've gone to hundreds of these auctions there. We like profit margins. So Josh, we'll share your screen here and show these guys how to find some Texas action. I will bring this up and there we go.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so there's a few different ways that you can approach Texas. And so it is the first Tuesday of every month, and there are so many different counties in the state of Texas. So you got a lot of different options, which is great. And so you'll notice here, there are a lot of different sales. Today, Georgia also does the same thing. So if I wanted to just look at this, there's 71 auctions happening that we've got here on the Vault. And as I start scrolling through, there's, for instance, redeemable deed auction. Then you got Cottle County, Texas, Lavaca County, Texas. So there's a whole bunch going on here. And so the way that it works is if a property does not sell at the auction, it will come back usually in the form of a resale. And what happens if it doesn't get bought at the second time or the third time, they'll lower the opening bid down to about $1,500 just to try to cycle it. And so in those particular counties where they have resale properties, you're not going to be able to get OTCs. You're not going to be able to get them because they just come back at the auction. But what you're looking for are counties in Texas that don't follow that pattern, that do something different. And that's how you can find some really good deals, because the whole state, like for most counties, they do follow a system, which is resale, but not everybody does that. And so they call it struck off first. So struck off meaning that now it's held by the county, and then resale is how it comes back. And so the word that you're looking for, or how you want to go ahead and search for this, is type the word trust sale properties, Texas. And so these are going to be places that don't follow the norm, that don't follow the struck off / resale system that the rest of the state follows. And so here is an example. You've got Tom Green County in Texas. So they do tax properties and trustee sales. So those are properties that have been struck off, and then they go ahead and they sell them. Here's Fayette County in Texas as well. So I'll go ahead and I'll click on that one for you. So trust properties offered for sale. These are properties that are county held that you can go ahead and make an offer through a sealed bid process. And so not every county is going to do this, but there are enough counties in Texas that do follow this process where you can go ahead and get some really good deals. So I see they've got one currently here, but you could always give them a call. You could use our directory that we have available to go ahead and call the county. So here's the city of Crosbyton as well. Trust properties, they have them for sale. And yeah, they've just foreclosed on them themselves. And so this is different from, say, Harris County, where if nobody bids on it, it becomes struck off, and then it comes back at a lower bid. So that's the secret word that you want to use. Now, here's the other thing, is that when we do this on Google in Texas, and not every county is going to have anything, they're not going to have information online available. And so that's where you want to go ahead, use the tax sale directory that we offer you to go ahead and call any counties that you cannot find here. Because the opportunities for some of these counties that don't have any blueprint online, or they don't have any presence online, there could be a lot of inventory sitting there. And so anything you don't find for trust sale properties, you want to give them a call. And the second thing that I would say is that most of these auctions that you'll see that are virtual in Texas are going to be on realauction.com.
This is why the world of over-the-counter tax deeds can be a great starting point for you as well. We can just show you where these properties are in your area and build you a custom blueprint. So it is a tax deed freedom blueprint call. You can book it. It's free. We'll just show you where to go. That's in the description as well. So let's move on to our second pick here today.
Fantastic. All right. So the second one we're going to show you is actually a tax lien state that is often overlooked. And this place has actually got a lot of inventory available right now that you can go ahead and purchase. So what we're looking at is Maryland. And so I'm on the vault again, vault.taxlienschool.com. And so if I click Maryland, what you're going to see is, and if they don't pay you the taxes back, so you pay the taxes for them, you get this piece of paper, but think about it. You're getting this for the back taxes and a little bit of interest and penalties. So you're going to be acquiring property with a ton of equity in it versus an auction where you're going to go, you could be bidding it up, things like that. But in this case, you can get it for the back taxes. So 6-month redemption period, very short, very quick. And here's just an example. So you have Cecil County owned properties. And so some of these numbers are upside down. And then other times you actually have a really good margin. There's a lot of equity here. So an example would be 717 Telegraph Road. They're looking for 20, worth 108. Or they're looking for $6,000 for 0 Bainbridge Road. And they got an assessed value of $50,000. Or we got 15 grand on $98,000. And so this stuff is 10 cents on the dollar below, like $3,000, $3,800 on 24,000. We like that a lot. That could be a piece of land. It might be a house there. And then sometimes it's actually the inverse where they're looking for $52,000, but it has a county assessed of 13. Zero Valley Road, looking for less than $1,000. It has an assessed value of 14 grand. So these are really good margins. And so you can get into this business with fairly low risk. And so what you would do is you would acquire these and then you could start the foreclosure process most likely right away because their sales are coming up. So these would at least be a year old. And so there's really juicy spreads here. And this is a place that people often overlook. And so on YouTube, we also do posts. We post upcoming auctions. So we've got a few that are happening in May. So we've got Queen Anne's County, which we've seen good OTCs there before. We've also got Calvert County, and then we've got Kent County in Maryland. And so they've got a ton of liens, 215 liens here, 312 there, and then 254. And so remember, the redemption period is very quick. And so if the homeowner does not pay you back pretty much immediately, you could go ahead and you could start the foreclosure process. But yeah, the auction's going to happen. And if you wanted to simply avoid bidding, the easy process or the easy system is just to be keeping track of these auctions, which you can do with our calendar on vault.taxlienschool.com. And then after the auction, you could be giving them a call quickly. Once the auction happens, you can get on the phone right away, ask them what they didn't sell, and then pick those up before anybody else. Because even a year later, we can still see properties that have a lot of upside, a lot of potential, 13x your money on this $1,000, depending on what it. The only thing I would say is that tax liens in Maryland have a very short lifespan. So that means if you buy an OTC in Maryland, you've got to start the foreclosure process right away. Otherwise, your tax lien could actually expire, it won't be valid anymore. And it would simply be like you paid the taxes on somebody else's behalf. So just be very careful with that.
So Josh, let's bring in third.
Okay. The third OTC state that we recommend is Michigan. And so we're giving you this with enough time in advance. So you can get this on your radar. You can start to plan and you can start to prepare. So they do happen annually between July and November. And so let me show you this because it's quite fascinating. So this is taxsale.info. And what happens is they begin July. And so I'll show you last year and we can look at the chain of events here. So if we go to 2025. And the very first run at this, so it looks like last year it started August 1st. The very first run, what they're trying to do is recoup the tax dollars. They're trying to get the tax payments back with interest and penalties. And so that's what the opening bid is. It's the back taxes, interest penalties, lawyer fees, title searches, things like that. So that's what they're trying to do. Now, if it doesn't sell at this auction, because sometimes properties are underwater, maybe something is worth $5,000, the opening bid is $5,000, there's just no equity there. And if those properties don't sell, then they will come back later. But at the same time, what we mentioned earlier was about people not being able to fulfill their obligation to pay for something that they win, or somebody not reading the rules well and not being able to pay. That property will show up as sold here at the first auction, but then it may come back at the very end, which we see this all of the time. And so as we scroll down, these are the first go arounds. This is the first time it goes to auction. And then from there, there's a second auction, which happens September 26th. And so at this reoffer, this is where you'll see it come back again at a lower price. Now, this is what's trippy, is that then after that, they have a no reserve, which is $100. And so we've seen properties sell previously, then they come back at the no reserve auction because somebody didn't actually fulfill and pay for the property. And so someone may be at a previous auction here, say it's all too competitive. They'll see what stuff gets bid up for, where they just picked a particularly competitive county and then not actually come back at the end. And so let me just show you some pretty wild examples. Here we go. So here's Berrien. This is a no reserve. So we're seeing houses sell for $1,100. We're seeing land, 0.26 acres, sell for $850. We're seeing a property sell for $150. Mind you, yes, this one is condemned. So we're not saying that this is a great deal or that we recommend it or not, but we are seeing properties get through to the finish line, and you could pick them up for legit less than $1,000, a couple $1,000s. So I wanted to show you a church that is actually available right now for $100, which is also pretty crazy. Here we go. So you can see on the left, it says what it actually sold for, and this looks like almost like a motel or something for 14 grand. But yeah, here's a church here in Battle Creek, Michigan. Minimum bid is $100. So you'll notice how it's not green, didn't sell. So they actually have this in inventory right now, and you could go ahead and you could pick it up for $100, which is wild. Here's another commercial building sold for $750. And these made it through, and they probably, I would say most likely they would have sold before, and then somebody didn't actually pay for it, because a lot of people said, yeah, there was no houses. I couldn't get anything for a discount. And here we go. Some more stuff. Yeah. Another house, 10 grand in excellent shape. So all of this stuff sold at the very last sale. And then you've got things that are available right now. So $350 for this vacant parcel, $350 here for a vacant parcel. Looks like it's actually between two houses, not landlocked. It's not in a regular shape. This is the exact kind of thing that you want to buy, especially for your first deal. Mind you, you still want to be able to do a title search and things like that. But yeah, here's just county after county of an example of property selling at a huge discount. Here's 1.3 acres, vacant parcel, $100, didn't sell. Mind you, maybe it didn't sell because there's something crazy going on, but we don't know. And so there could be a really good untapped opportunity here. Houses selling for $150. Very wild. And so if you don't stay, or if you don't know to stay to the end, you would miss these opportunities because people are picking up properties for absolute wild prices. Here's half a duplex for $450. Yeah, here's 0.12 acres, $100 in this space.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. It's the most important time of our time together here today, and that is time to take action. So from here, guys, to get started, I would call the county right now. You can grab the deed directory. It's in the description below. Just crack it open to the area you're interested in. Call them up, ask for the list, and see when the auction is. And then from there, we have the instructions for you here in the ABCs. This is all in the directions below. And then from there, if you want our help just finding some of these that fit your budget, you can schedule a call. and we'd be happy to help you and give you some hand-holding advice as well. So regardless, take some action. We appreciate everybody hopping on here today. And Instagram, we are streaming to you guys as well. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see you soon.